challenging matchup. The National Coach of the Year, Corey Close from last year. And Jan Jensen, in her second year, said that her team did not skip a beat. They created a new beat after their loss at USC on Thursday night and have put the sour taste of losing Taylor McCabe behind them as well, one of their best three-point shooters.
She was a sniper, and she spaced the floor, and I was going to have to figure out how to play on without her.
Well, that'll be interesting to watch how these bigs away from the basket manage each other today. Ava Hyden and Lauren Betts go at it. Iowa at 9-1 in the Big Ten, started 9-0, their best start since the mid-90s, and then took their first loss on Thursday. UCLA unbeaten, and not many teams have been close because of the rim protection of Betts. 3 for Kylie Fierbach, and that's off. Hyden in pursuit, Betts with the rebound. Well, one of the most efficient offenses in the country that we're watching down on this end with the Bruins.
The difference for UCLA this year, 38% from the three-point line. Number 1 in the Big Ten, number 5 in the nation.
Oh, nice drive. Charlisse Ledger Walker with the left.
She does not look to score first. She is a pass-first point guard.
Here's Hyden, the top scorer for Iowa, giving up for Fierbach. And the single digits on the shot clock. Here's Deal. A 3 pops out. Hyden has the offensive rebound. Well, Iowa was getting back, ready to play transition deep, but forget about that with a right 3.
Chit-chat getting on the board.
And rejoin the play on the offensive rebound. So the big hit for the point guard for Iowa. Hawkeyes with a miss and a foul.
That's an easy run when you're going to get set up for a three-point look.
Straight ahead into a 3, yes please. You'll take that as a guard. High-low, Iowa does this so well with their 2 bigs.
Well, this is crucial. UCLA in a 4-guard, 1-post lineup, and Iowa 2 posts that can score inside, and that time it was Stolke, one of the big posts for Iowa.
Here's the headliners for UCLA, and Lauren Betts going to work.
But Lauren Betts is 6'7" with a long wingspan. She looked like she was unaffected that time in getting a high percentage look.
Well, this is thrown near the backcourt. UCLA just subbed for the first time. Angela Dugalić makes them bigger, and her length forces a turnover. Here's Kiki Rice, and the traffic, and Dugalić fresh off the bench and into the ball.
Another 6'4" player for the Bruins that is very active defensively.
Fierbach, strong drive, no bounce. Kept alive by Stolke, but a foul.
And passes it. One of the reasons UCLA is number 2 in the nation is because they're willing and able passers at every position. You saw Kiki Rice could have forced it, maybe got to the line. She dished it for an easy one.
Well, 2 of the most unselfish teams we'll see in all college basketball. We're watching here, and Betts pays it off in the low line. How this game is going to be officiated when Betts is involved and when Stolke and Hyden are involved.
There's no question. It's very difficult to referee inside. USC played phenomenal defense against Iowa to get that win. But Iowa's bench was very good. One of the things they're going to have to see again today in order to compete with UCLA.
Ledger Walker into the paint.
Very aggressive today, off the bounce, looking for her shot against Iowa's backcourt.
All 10 UCLA points inside the paint to start this game. And that gets caught up in traffic. UCLA with the takeaway. Putting the gas for Dugalić. Leaning in to the 8-1.
And she picks her spots offensively to make a difference.
I was going to say, Elise, we talked about the sub that Corey Close made for size, getting Dugalić in there. And then she runs the break like Kiki Rice.
And she can hit the 3, 34%. So many WNBA scouts and coaches looking at this UCLA Bruins roster. She's one of them.
And a pull-up top for Strimlow. Get one back for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, Corey Close's team is rolling.
Well, at least they've carved out 12 of their 13 points in the paint to start this game. And Dugalić, an outside pop, no. And Chit-Chat Right, smallest player on the floor, has the rebound. A lightning quick point guard, the transfer from Georgia Tech. And a great eye for the Iowa Hawkeyes backcourt. Stremlow probing. You have Hyden on the bench, the top scorer. It's Hayes and Stolke in the front court for Iowa. And off the pocket pass, Stolke puts it away.
Very good patience, trying to figure out what the defense is going to give us. What are the matchups? What are we doing? You realize UCLA in this matchup wants to get in the lane, either off the bounce or inside as Kiki drills it.
Couple of guards, couple of wings, crashing the offensive glass for UCLA. Iowa gets away with it. And deal. Man, she can't buy one on this trip yet.
One going all the way around, but won't drop.
Didn't score in the USC game the other day. Dugalić has a beautiful move. And right backs it out. Another late shot clock for Iowa. Freshman on freshman. And that's wins that one in the travel for Hayes.
And what an addition for Corey Close, the Betts family. Lauren wears number 51 for her father, who was a pro in basketball. Played at San Jose State, and then Sienna wears number 16 for her mama, who was a volleyball player.
Open court, chip, right, coasting, easy two.
If you want to see somebody that can really spin it off her fingertips and fill it up, it is Gianna Kneepkens.
That's why Kylie Fierbach, best defender for Iowa, checks her. Fighting through a screen, here is Kneepkens. And her first one's a miss.
She plays 14 minutes a game and averages 5 rebounds. So if you extrapolate it, it's 14.9 rebounds per 40.
End of the clock. Stolke can't hit. And that brings an end to the first quarter here at Pollard Pavilion in Westwood. So UCLA getting it done in the paint in the first quarter. Recruited hard by Iowa. Dan Jensen told us they recruited the heck out of her. It wasn't just a normal recruitment. They wanted her bad.
She started at Oregon, part of the #1 ranked recruiting class in the nation. Seems like forever ago.
End of the shot clock. Wright had to heave it, and it goes back to the Bruins.
And at least get a look at the rim.
And on Thursday, it was the early turnovers for Iowa that did him in, and this is Hayden, 16 points a game, top scorer for Iowa, still scoreless. Into the post. Here's Stolke, no dribble, and a foul.
Basketball crazy at Iowa. It is so cool to see the support that they get. Caitlin Clark was a huge reason why, but the coolest part about that is all the other fans that were introduced to Iowa basketball and have hung around to see this team make it into the top 10 after starting the year unranked.
The Hawkeyes have been in the stands for a while. 4.5 minutes that they've held UCLA scoreless down on this end. Ledger Walker got the Bruins going early in another drive.
Another straight line. She scored over 1,700 points before ever becoming a Bruin.
Right-hander on her hip, and it taps out to Rice. She looks to run the break, keeps it herself, coast to coast.
That time, pretty easy choice on the left side, but she is a slasher.
Oh, good pass. Fierbach flashing off the Hayden feed, and back to the Bruins.
It's very close, but we play on.
This costs you a timeout, no set amount of appeals. Ledger Walker stepping into one.
You're feeling some pressure. First year without Caitlin Clark, first year without Lisa Bluder. And she said, we're going to just continue to keep showing up, and it is going to go our way. We just have to put in the work. Since that time, they have won 17-3 in Big Ten games.
Stolke, same move, this one and one.
Scores through her for the three-point opportunity.
Same move you pointed out. They were working on a shoot-around. Shows up in the game again for Stolke. 2 instead of 3. Iowa is locked in defensively since the midway part of the first quarter. Just 3 points UCLA's defense has allowed in this quarter. And the Betts working on Hayden. Spinning and finishing.
And that is power on power. Hayden did a pretty good job holding her ground initially, but Betts just kept going.
Betts up to 6 points. Led by Ledger Walker on the UCLA side. And Stolke is fouled.
Betts is able to lay that one easily. Yeah, Stolke kind of body language in that one in, moving her shoulders, saying, get in there. Go home, ball.
Too good for your home?
UCLA was challenged with no Betts against Illinois.
And into the paint, and It's turned over by UCLA. Illinois kept that game close with Betts dealing with the foul trouble. One of the few teams that has done that. Tied in, still scoreless. Dugalić goes down, grabbing her neck. Her and Stolke were tied up together.
Oh, right there, the left arm extends from Stolke right in the throat. Oof. Oh, boy. So excessive and unnecessary. Under the rule book, upgrade that to a flagrant one. And Kiki Rice, who's an outstanding foul shooter. She loves to get to the foul line. But 89.8%. Because it's not just the efficiency of the line, it's also how often she gets there. It's a weapon.
She got them both and the ball for UCLA after the flagrant one against Hannah Stolke, who's on the bench with foul trouble for Iowa. Lauren Betts with 2 first-half fouls for UCLA. And Hawkeyes sweeps in for 2 more. And Gabriella Hawkeyes in her 4th year for the Bruins.
And such an improvement at the three-point line for Hawkeyes.
Late in the clock, Mulaney lets it go. It's off the back of the rim. Houston has an offensive rebound. Pierbach can't convert the second chance. Betts with the rebound. Iowa in the quarter, just 5 points, 5.5 minutes in. And Kiki Rice back to the rim.
It hasn't been a big run. It's just been stop, stop, and another stop with a bucket on the other end. It's only 31 points, but their defense has been stellar.
Still haven't allowed Hyden to get loose. Chip chat right, knocks it down. If we could have done a thought bubble on the one call that she didn't like, she walked down the side of the bench.
What would you put in that thought bubble, Clark?
Dugalić 3. That's a thought bubble right now. Zaddy Deal's getting ready to check back in. Maybe with that in mind, get a little more offense on the floor. Houston from out deep. Passes that in.
Have to drill the 3.
That's her first of the season. Her first 3. She was 0 for 5 before that. And Kneepkens on the tape. Off the window. It pops out back to the Hawkeyes.
Understanding what it takes to play at the collegiate level. And she plays with so much confidence.
Put up Ava Hyden-like numbers against USC on Thursday. Part of that career high. It was out of necessity because of foul trouble then. It's out of necessity again today. As the clock gets late on Stremlo. Down to 4. She finds a pocket and finds 2.
Hanging around. Down now by just 8. This has been a game of defense.
Kneepkens leaves it. Sienna Betts to the strong hand. At least you mentioned a game of defense. Kind of like last year's game. 67-65. It was Iowa that built a big lead in that one. And the foul on Rice.
Now with the foul trouble, she's had to spend a lot of time watching. A lot of other cast of characters that can step up at any moment.
At the starting backcourt, Rice and Ledger Walker with the shot clock turned off here. UCLA can hold for 1 more. Now Ledger Walker got the Bruins starting with her driving in the opening quarter. And here comes the screen from Betts. 4 on the clock. Ledger Walker loses it. Pierbach hands up. Kneepkens at the end of the half. Just to confirm, since we had foul confusion, Ava Hyden and Hannah Stolke did have 2 fouls in the first half. So that was part of the lead that UCLA built. Was 2 best players for Iowa were sitting for a long stretch in that second quarter. UCLA starts to the ball in a game for first place in the Big Ten, and second half begins with Rice off the glass.
Corey Close mentioned that she loves Kiki Rice's physicality in the matchup with Chit-Chat Wright. Took her right to the box and posted her up.
Well, they give Hyden the mid-range. She misses, but Stolke pulls it in. Abby Deal short. And Ledger Walker has it for UCLA.
I like that shot by Addie Deal. She is a baller. She's put in some big performances. Hasn't got it going yet in LA, though.
Single coverage, it's usually good night for Lauren Betts.
Frustration, she wants to get out after having to sit for a lot of that second quarter.
When it turns out she actually didn't have to. What about that move for Heiden?
Oh, show and go. I love that. That's how you get on the board, Ava Heiden.
They let that contact ride in the post. Heiden fell down. That's out to the perimeter. And the deep two leads to a foul on Rice.
Freezes Warren, the shot blocker. Had 100 blocks last year, a UCLA record. But Heiden got her on that possession.
That was half the yo-yo move, and this a ball fake that gets her free.
And you can tell, I bet Jan Jensen said, can we please get some touches for Ava Heiden down on the block, and it's working here early.
Rice on a strong take. She's good with her left.
Boy, a flurry of scoring to start this second half.
Heiden has 6 quick points out of halftime.
Now what a way to rim run. Gets up and down the floor. That time Heiden beat her to the spot.
Awakening for Heiden. UCLA back in control on the weapon. Back to backs, posts.
That is big time.
At least an 0 for 4 start for Heiden. 3 of 3 since.
Even that burst right there.
That was Heiden in the first half versus the 6 plus 1, and one more coming for Heiden. She is right up there as far as the most improved player of the Big Ten.
Yeah, 5 points a game last year to 16 this year. So we were talking about all the great candidates. So Katie Tiso at Oregon certainly is one of those.
Bo Sullivan at Northwestern. Double-digit score, but has turned it up to 21 this year. And another drive for Ledger Walker. Good to see her with plenty of bounce on this Sunday at Pauley. Heiden can hit those, and she does.
You get them rim touches, let them get a couple going inside, then they've got the confidence to pull it at the mid-range.
Well, those two one-on-one again. Sneaks it home.
I mean, this is just back and forth.
Well, Heiden stays in with the 3 fouls, staying in that rhythm that she's been in since halftime. Deal, deep 2. Still nothing. 0 for 5 from the floor today, 0 for 8 since coming west. Dugalić in tight for the Bruins. Chit-chat right, the top scorer for Iowa in this game in the controls. Passed on the 3. Out for a Stremlo triple.
Good look. That's what they want. That's what your offense is designed.
And backs her way in on Hayes and one.
Yeah, that is the number 1 go-to. Now as a freshman, she's got the eyes of everybody as well. But for UCLA,
it's sitting Stolke and Heiden with the fouls. And in tight for Houston. They do a triple team. Out for a Fierbach 3. That would not sit down for her.
Good decision. Had another good look. Just wouldn't drop for Fierbach.
Quick entry, Dugalić. Shoulder fake. And 2 more.
Getting it done on that end.
Oh, here we go. It's sub-matching with Betts and Heiden. 20-point lead for the Bruins. They've been doing this to just about everybody in the Big Ten.
Average margin of victory over 30 per game.
Re-entry into Betts. The spin. Got rid of Heiden and got the bounce.
Her time in college. Mid-range going over for left shoulder. That's tough.
Right, found Houston away from the basket, showing her skill.
UCLA getting a big-time win against Oklahoma in the non-con.
They won 14 in a row since the loss to Texas, including 10 in a row in the Big Ten. And Dugalić, she did clarify some of the comments on that. No disrespect to some of those teams, but people need to tell the stories of our team and women's basketball. A huge advocate for the sport and her team.
Well, and just the standard of excellence of they're trying to win a national championship.
Dugalić is called for the foul. Tegan Mulaney rims out the first.
UCLA is so long. They right now on the floor, 6'7". That's 6'4" Dugalić.
Part of the Final Four run last year for UCLA. Hawkeyes got to the left, and that's a foul on Betts. That's number 4 on Lauren Betts.
You use your legs, you can use your torso, you can lean on people, but what's a really easy call for an official is when you extend the arm. It's not hand-to-hand combat for the most part. It's leg-to-leg, and just who can get that base and the power, and that time ends up in the free throws for Hayden.
I think hand-to-hand combat is usually a flagrant too.
We saw that a little bit earlier today, right?
I don't think it's written that way. It's pretty much true, I'm going to assume.
But it is a skill to learn how to lean on players without fouling. Oh, and Dugalić did that to perfection.
Iowa saves the possession as Stolke gets it back. And Dugalić has been excellent both ends of the floor today. And she's got the on-ball pressure on Stremlow. Hayden from that elbow. At least she has 14 of the 17 Iowa points in the quarter after a scoreless first half. And as Iowa down by 17. Mid-range, Kneepkens short, a rare miss. And at the end of the third quarter, UCLA will take a 17-point lead into the huddle.
They have been undefeated. Last year, they won 23 games in a row. I think an early loss to refocus, take some pressure off. Being undefeated is amazing, but it also doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's how you are playing in March and April.
The UCLA domination is carried into the paint today, 50-16, outscoring Iowa by 34. And nobody has done the Hawkeyes like that this season.
UCLA has made just 2 3-point shots in the entire game, and yet...
And that's a fourth foul on Ava Hayden.
That's a tough one, as Charlisse Walker tried to slide over the top of that screen, and Hayden gets called for it.
Frustrating day for Hayden. First half foul trouble, no points. And then we broke out with 14 third quarter points. One foul away from a DQ, and Hawkeyes attacks the rim.
I asked Corey Close, I said, is it Sonia Citron comp a good comparison for Hawkeyes? And she thought that was the Notre Dame guard who was a rookie last year with the Mystics, lit it up.
Hayden and one, up to 16 second half points.
She moves without the basketball, but I like the whole comparison as well. I think with Citron it's because there were other players that had the headlines and she could have probably on a different team.
Rice sweeps on the cross. Probing, and out to Dugalić. And the drive cut off. Three attack for Hawkeyes, and she's fouled. Bro-sis combination first for the same school to both go to the Final Four, both brother and sister.
Your mom and dad have to be so proud, right?
It's Friday night at 8 Eastern on Fox. One big power dribble, and Stolke stumbles it home.
Stolke getting a good paint touch and finishing. Iowa just has not been able to do that as consistently as UCLA so far.
Roger Walker saw what Dugalić did earlier. Wanted some of that.
She didn't give it enough kiss like Dugalić did.
You went Raph on us there.
Spin it.
Yeah, it squirts out for a three for Stremlow. Ice cold from three today. 3 of 17 for the Hawkeyes. And this one goes.
She's sensing that, calling the timeout, making sure for Iowa right now, they are 4 of 17 from 3. They have capable three-point shooters. Chit Chat and Stremlow are going to need to get hot.
All right, now the three-point shooting is going both ways, apparently. Lauren Betts is back in for UCLA. And good defense for Hawkeyes. It's a 2-on-1. Kneepkens is up ahead.
Hawkeyes getting up the steal, leading to the wide-open Kneepkens bucket.
Well, Corey Close said in the UCLA huddle, we're not as sharp as we need to be.
Join the UCLA Bruins. What a career she has had so far.
Kneepkens rings it up.
I would say that was a successful timeout for UCLA. 8-0 in a minute.
Plus minus on the speech for Corey Close is 8. And that stops the run with Hannah Stolke.
And we're needing to put an end to that run. Here's Kiki Rice, the out of bounds, watching a good screen from Betts. And UCLA, what makes them so difficult and why they're one of the best teams is because this length, 6'4", 6'3", 6'3", they can go so big across their lineup.
The kids appreciate that. You got a 6'7" in form. And a 6'7". And all of America rolls its eyes. right, and a give for Hayden.
No margin for error. She's got to play clean.
All in the second half, that's scoring 19 points. Dugalić, she's been a star.
In front of all the WNBA players, scouts, GMs.
Deep one right. She wanted a little pro-like range. It is almost 70 points between the five of them. That's how you have the second best offense in America.
The addition of Gianna Kneepkens and the improvement as a three-point shooter from Gabriella Hawkeyes and from Kiki Rice, clog it with Lauren. This year you have to extend. But defensively, she wants the same intensity, the same pressure, the same attention to detail. So we'll see. I mean, they certainly look like they're on all cylinders now.
Nikki Blue has her first points out west. Comes late in the fourth quarter in the second game.
Yeah, I really like the upside of Addie Deal. She is the reigning Big Ten freshman of the week, and Nikki will move in the paint.
Turn around. Deal was special against Ohio State. That game she scored 20 points. As Hayden leads it on the doorstep. And this is the experience, the tested mettle of UCLA against 8 underclassmen for Iowa. And they're going to be hanging around the top of the Big Ten for a while with this group. Betts in tight, 2 more.
Wow, Lauren Betts elevating. So you always need size and versatility in the W, and I know that.
Well, you were here for the turning point game for Betts with that mid-range game. What she's developed is Dugalić.
Yeah, hit the 18-foot jumper, but then the Beavers came back and got the win with Talia von Oelhoffen. I mean, just crazy. Lauren Betts said, all right, if I can make the 18-footer, I can make the defense really respect all parts of my game. It's going to make me extremely dangerous.
Dugalić can do no wrong today.
Dugalić just going off today. She gets a standing O from the fans behind her, and her team fired up for her. The 6-year senior also has overcome an ACL tear in her career to come back now, and she's going to be playing in the W.
She grabbed her back, almost as if to say, I put the team on my back today.
I think it might have been the high five from Corey Close.
Dugalić tying her career high with 22 points after we went inside the huddle. Gianna Betts showing a little step back. Rice an offensive rebound. And clean defense inside for Iowa. 3-on-2. Stremlow finds the line and hits another 3.
Making a difference.
Oh, Rice does a full 360. Everything but. And then a hard foul.
When you have the electric scorers that they have with Kneepkens and Hawkeyes and Lauren Betts, it's just about, there's only one ball for UCLA, and they are unselfish. Number 8, net ranking number 10. They just run into a buzzsaw today in UCLA.
And Gianna Betts puts it away with the final half minute. It'll be interesting to see which of those top teams in the league can steal some games on the road. There's a 3 for Deal is short. And UCLA can dribble it out. So going into next week, the top 4 teams in the Big Ten have combined 42-1 at home. UCLA next week goes to Michigan in another matchup that'll be for first place. Today, it is the Bruins staying in first place, 11-0 with an 88-65 win over the Hawkeyes.
Well, an impressive win for Corey Close and her team. 88 points on this Iowa team that is physical, and the points in the paint was the battle that went decisively in the way of the Bruins and turned this into a UCLA rout.